8 ways to improve Path of Exile 2. These are my opinions gathered from the experience I've had in playing the game so far, and constructive criticism that I think will help improve the game for the vast majority of players. Number 1. On death effects. What possible value do they add to the game? Quite frankly, it's like winning a boxing match, and as the referee holds up your arm, you then get punched in the face. They are annoying, pointless, and nothing but a waste of time and give zero value to any player. Just remove them completely because they serve no purpose whatsoever. Point number 2, I don't know if you think the same way, but I'm just wondering, what is the point of mobs respawning when you die on maps? You've just spent half an hour or more getting through part of the map because they are so huge, and then when you die, you've then got to either run the gauntlet trying to dodge through all the mobs. As I'm sure you're aware, it's very easy to get blocked, especially on the terrain, even with the changes to how you can actually roll through some of the mobs now. In my opinion, this is just another pointless waste of time. It's not like re-killing all the mobs after you've died, that they are likely to drop any loot of any meaningful value anyway. Now, talking about the loot as point number 3, it was stated that they were aiming for meaningful drops. Still, after the changes for the vast majority of people, including myself, this doesn't seem to be the case. Most of the time it's just blue items that are absolute trash, and very rarely a yellow one. Just the other night, I spent another hour trying to kill a boss. I was level 34, just starting Act 3, and it dropped 3 blue items, one of which was a crossbow that you could equip at level 17. I'm sure I'm not the only one this happens to. It just seems like a lot of trash is dropped and you're not actually progressing your character. If it continues in this way, might as well do what it seems the vast majority of people are doing and just gamble for items. They might as well go the whole hog, just have them drop currency, buy a white piece of gear from the vendor and craft it and gamble and see if you get anything decent. As a side note to the loot, what's the point in making players actually pick up their currency, as in the shards, the artificers and the transformation orbs, etc. Why can't all currency just auto stack as you run over it? Unless some players want to leave it on the floor just for shits and giggles. After spending about an hour trying out different gem setups and figuring out the pattern of the Wrathbreaker, I finally win and get the thing down, only to be swarmed by packs of mobs that then pin me up against the wall and the inevitable death ensues. I ran back and the loot that was probably crap anyway, but you never know, had vanished because I died. How amazing is that? What the hell is the point in drops disappearing when you die? Makes absolutely zero sense to me whatsoever. Speaking of the bosses, is it Path of Exiles or Path of Rolling? Sponsored by Limp Bizkit. I've just hit Act 3. If the rest of the game, including the end game bosses, are anything like these ones, for example Jumnara and Mechul the Forger, where you're constantly having to smash the spacebar and time everything to a split second, it's absolutely exhausting. In platform games, right from the 80s up until the present day, they have what is called a breather segment, and this design is to give players' brains the time to calm down and reset before taking on the next challenge, because the bosses are becoming more and more like a split second reaction race with hardly any time to do any DPS. It seems the only viable class would probably be a minion build. They can at least then continue to DPS whilst you keep rolling. Please give the 95% of gamers a chance to react and enjoy the game, especially the boss encounters, and not balance it for the top 5% of the player base. That's the Blizzard way for WoW. Surely we've moved on from this by now. Point number 6. Why is there a cost to respec during the campaign mode? Just how does this help, and what possible purpose can it serve? For those arguing that you can just go back to previous maps and find yourself some gold and easily respec in this way, well, if it's that easy to get gold, then why is there a cost in the first place? Or is going back to a map that you've already completed just to grind more gold a fulfilling experience? Then jolly good, I guess it will be even more fun having to do this same shit every single season when the new class and metas change spec, and then you have to do the same process all over again. Point number 7, talking of maps, now that I think of it, how come the fog of war on maps returns even if you completed it and then you go back again? Can we not just have it permanently clear once we've completed the map and see where the points of interest are along with the checkpoints? In my opinion, it just makes it worse having this fog of war and having players go back, because they haven't got the time to complete everything fully that needs to be done on the map to progress. The majority of gamers have got other real life stuff to do, like sleeping and eating. I just think this is another annoying time sink of no value to anyone. For new players, things can be still quite confusing, and I don't think there's enough clear instruction on certain basic aspects of the game as they're starting out. Why not make some quests where they've got to craft some gear, along with add some modifiers, and then craft a weapon and add sockets and runes to it, so they can see the difference that can then make. Maybe give them a ring and explain the importance of resistances, perhaps before they actually encounter the first boss, or as they come to the end of the Act 1, and at least give them something to prepare for what is to come. There really is no reason to have it this hard at the beginning of the game. All it will do is alienate and annoy a considerable amount of players that are playing ARPGs for the first time, or coming from Diablo 4, and some of them may want to go straight back again because they just find it far too hard to actually get into the game. The core game and the game is great, in my opinion, for the following reasons. The art styling and lighting is great, and it is very immersive. The general mob population variety, along with the boss variety, is unbelievably good. The music, and especially the sound effects, are top level. These are just the points of constructive criticism that I've experienced so far. Many of you might agree, and some may disagree. Any feedback is welcomed, but I feel that at least some of these changes would improve the game and make it more popular, and with a much better chance of keeping a higher player base for a much longer period of time. And this will be for the benefit of all players, and not just for the 95%, but also the top 5% as well. The more people that play, the more people that might decide to support the game because they enjoy it and get some cosmetics, or at least a few stash tabs, helping towards the development of future content for everybody. I do hope you're still having fun, or there will be improvements in the future, and then you can come back and have even more fun. I'll see you soon, and take it easy.